Hey everybody, this is Sherry, and for today I'm going to use an image called Skunk with Acorns by Crafting Desert Divas, and I am excited about being on their design team and looking forward to all of the cute images that I will be able to use. So I will make sure that I leave a link in the description box below to their shop and to a link to their Facebook page for you guys, so you can go and check out all of the other design team members and all of the neat things that they're doing. This is one of their digital images, but they also have regular photopolymer stamps, and they have their own dyes. They have a lot of really awesome products. So I want you to make sure I want to make sure I give you that link so that you can go and check everything out, because I think you'll definitely find something that you like. But here I am, I'm just coloring up my skunk, and this is my darkest color, my C7. And because my skunk's head is smaller at the top and wider at the bottom, I try to make sure that when I flick my collar out, that as I go lower, I make the flicks longer, because it just maintains the integrity of the shape of the image. If you go down and you do a straight line that's a small line at the top and it's still small at the bottom, it's going to make your skunk look a little bit distorted. And so I'm just doing up the ears and all of that for the little skunk and getting her all ready and pretty. And this image was fun to color. And you'll see I started one way with the card and then it completely changed my mind. And I have to fussy cut her out. But we'll get there when we get there. And right here, I know everybody thinks that a skunk has a white line down its back, and it does, but there's also normally a black piece running down the middle of the two white stripes. So I'm going ahead here and then just putting in my black stripe before I add the white ones that'll go on the side. Now when I add the white ones, all I'm going to do to make it, because I don't want it just stark white, I need to put in some shadows. So I'm just going to go about putting in the shadows, just a little bit of the C1, the C0, and then I go over it with the colorless blender so that I can blend that C0, which is very light, into the white. And that way there's no, harsh edges or anything like that. And so I'm just finishing up his little tail. I go back between his and her, don't I'm going to call her her because she's got flower in her hair. So she's a her. And so I'm finishing up her little tail and just fixing up anything that I thought, that I might have went over on with the colorless blender. Now here I'm doing her nose. And because you don't want to do it black, you want to be able to see, different layers and shapes in that black. I use my dark grays instead. Now I'm going over and doing my leaves. And on my leaves, there was such a small space, I only used two colors. Now for the yellow, for the flowers, I use Y15, 17, and then in the center, I go over with Y28, and I just kind of like stipple it in. But again, it was really tiny. And so I used my R00 to color in the inside of my mouth and the little skunk's ears. And then I take that color to continue it on with the other image and start to use that as my base color for my butterfly. And I'm not going for realistic here. God makes realistic butterflies. I'm doing mine the colors that I like. So my little butterfly is pink and blue, and I think that she turned out really cute. And I'm going here now for my acorn. I use E51, 53, 55, and 57. For the light brown there at the bottom, I use 51, 53, and 55. And now for the darker part that I'm coloring, I drop the 51 and I pick up the 57. So I go 53, 55, and 57. So that's how I use the same color family, because I wanted it to all blend together. I just needed it a little darker. Now for my butterfly, I go into the E30 family, and I use 31, 33, and 35. I didn't want anything dark. I wanted this to be, you know, real light and soft to match the rest of the butterfly, and I go over there with my colorless blender and fix anything that I think I kind of messed up on. Now I'm using my W 1, 2, and 0 for the shadow in my colorless blender, but I don't know why I did that, because you're going to see I completely changed my mind and go over it and end up cutting it out. Now here I'm using my black glaze pen, and it really looks very pretty in real life, and her eyes are real shiny, but in pictures it just did not show up well. And the pink souffle pen is so pretty because it goes on real bright, but then when it dries it's a beautiful matte pink, so it's perfect for her little tongue. So I just wanted to explain in advance why her eyes are going to look a little wonky in the pictures at the end. But that's why they're pretty black. They just, you know, the light catches off of the glaze, I'm guessing. So here I'm using my trimmer to cut down some paper from the Hello Sunshine Doodlebug set. I cut this down to 4 by 5 1/4, and my pink is my Recollections 110-pound cardstock. And so that is an A2 size, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. Now I did my brown at 4 by 5 1/4, and now I'm cutting my pink layer down to 4 by 5 1/4. And if you don't have a Cricut to get the circles like that, you can use dies, you can use punches. You know, there's lots of other options and ways to get those circles punched out of your paper. And my original plan was to put the skunk in a circle on top of all those circles, and then I decided that I didn't like it. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fussy cut her out with my scissors and just trim her all out here, and then I will also trim up the little butterfly. Now I just use my memento marker here to go along the edge so that I can, you know, redefine those black lines that I trimmed along. I can get rid of the white core, and anywhere that I may have cut too deep and lost the black line, I can put it back in. So here I'm just using my tape to get my first layer down on my card base, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to end up using my ATG tape. I'm just using my art glitter glue to put the skunk down where I want it, and then I'll put my ATG tape on. But because of all of those little thin pieces on the sides where the circles were, I'm going to go over it with some glue so that it wets the adhesive and gives me a little bit more time to wiggle it around and get it exactly where I want it. Because you know, when you use that tape, once it hits, it's stuck. So this gave me a little bit of wiggle room and worked really well for me. And now I'm going to go ahead and put my butterfly in, and I'm not adding any dimension to this card. I wanted it to be just a flat card that was quick and easy and to send in the mail to one of the kids that I send some of the cards to. And I'm using my Copic multi-liner there to add the little antennae on the butterfly, because there was no way I was going to cut those little things out. Now I wanted it to say stinkin' sweet, so I wrote it out with a pencil and got it the way I liked, and now I'm going over it for my sentiment with my my EK Tools writing pen. So now I've got the saying that I wanted, but it was bothering me because I felt like, okay, the brown blends with the acorn and the pink blends with the butterflies, but there needed to be something black to blend with the skunk. So I take my pen and I go around and I do faux stitching all the way around each of the circles to tie in the butterfly, or not the butterfly, the skunk, and just make it look like everything is meant to be the way it is, that, you know, all of the colors belong. I didn't have to worry about the blue because there wasn't much of that, but there needed to be something that grounded the skunk into the project. Okay guys, that is my project for today. I hope that you like this video. If you do, give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below. Thanks for visiting me today, and happy crafting. Bye.